I like to differentiate risk and consequence. Most people use risk to sort of mean like something seems dangerous, like, oh, that's really risky. I would prefer to use risk to describe the likelihood of something happening and the consequences being what will happen if that thing does happen. And so in my case with free soling, the consequences are almost always death. Like for the most part, if you fall off, you're going to die. So the consequences are incredibly high. But if you're watching a video or you're seeing a photo of somebody free soling, you can't really evaluate the risk. Like you can't judge the likelihood of me falling off through an image because some of the terrain is really freaking easy. And oftentimes if you're seeing photos or video, you're probably seeing the parts that are easier because that's the parts we decided to film on. For a lot of this kind of content, like sometimes I do the things by myself and then you go back and you film on the parts that are scenic that like look great. And to the casual viewer, you can't tell the difference between the easy stuff and the hard stuff anyway. It all looks insane. You're like, that guy's hanging on the side of a cliff. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, basically, I think it's hard for a viewer to evaluate risk. You know, it's hard to determine how likely somebody is to fall off or how likely something bad is to happen. But then they sort of use the word risk. But basically, because the consequences are super high, they sort of conflate that to mean like, oh, it's likely that you're going to die. And you're like, well, no, the likelihood of me falling off is practically zero. It's just that if I do, the consequences are severe. And so I think that there's a healthy attitude around evaluating risk like that. Where it's like, just because the consequences of something are incredibly high, if the likelihood is incredibly low, you're kind of like, well, it could still be reasonable to do that thing.